Welcome to a journey through one of the most fascinating yet lesser-known aspects of the Catholic world, the Eastern Catholic Churches. These 23 distinct Christian communities preserve ancient Eastern traditions while remaining in full communion with the Pope in Rome. Often overshadowed by the Latin Church, they hold a rich heritage of theological depth, liturgical beauty, and historical significance. Today, we will uncover 5 mysteries that trace their journey from the ancient city of Byzantium to the present day, revealing their unique identity and enduring role within the Catholic Church. Mystery 1. The origins of the Eastern Catholic Churches, a tale of unity and division. Let's begin with their origins. Imagine the early Christian world before 1054, when Christianity was a single unified faith spanning the Roman Empire and beyond. At its heart stood 5 great patriarchal sees: Rome in Italy, Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, Alexandria in Egypt, Antioch in Syria, and Jerusalem in the Holy Land. These centers of authority guided the Church collectively, though Rome, led by the Pope, often asserted a special role as the first among equals. But unity did not last. In 1054, a dramatic rupture known as the Great Schism divided Christianity, giving rise to the Western Catholic Church under the Pope and the Eastern Orthodox Church under the Patriarch of Constantinople. 2 key issues fueled this split. The first was authority. The West maintained that the Pope held supreme power over the entire Church, while the East viewed him as one leader among many. The second was a theological dispute over the Nicene Creed. The West had added the phrase filioque, and from the Son, to describe the Holy Spirit's procession, a modification the East rejected as an unauthorized alteration of sacred tradition. For centuries, these 2 branches of Christianity remained separated. But starting in the 16th century, something remarkable occurred. Some Eastern Orthodox communities sought reconciliation with Rome, leading to the formation of what we now call the Eastern Catholic Churches. This was not an abrupt shift, but a gradual process, shaped by political factors, missionary efforts, and a desire for unity. By the 18th century, 23 distinct Eastern Catholic churches had emerged, each preserving its Eastern liturgy, customs, and identity while recognizing the Pope's authority. Some, like the Maronite Church in Lebanon, claim they never fully broke from Rome, while others, like the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, reunited after centuries apart. This fusion of Eastern heritage and Western allegiance is the first mystery, a story of division, reconciliation, and enduring faith. Mystery 2. The Byzantine Liturgy, a worship experience. Like no other now, let us step into an Eastern Catholic church and witness their worship. If you are familiar with the Roman Catholic Mass, you might expect a similar structure. However, the Eastern Catholic churches, most of which follow the Byzantine Rite, offer something entirely different, a deeply immersive spiritual and sensory experience rooted in the traditions of Constantinople. Picture this. The air is thick with incense, swirling upward in fragrant clouds. The congregation does not merely recite prayers, they sing them, their voices rising in ancient chants composed by saints such as Saint John Chrysostom and Saint Basil the Great, liturgies that have endured for over 1,600 years. Every gesture is intentional. The faithful bow deeply, priests make the sign of the cross with 2 fingers rather than the Western style, and icons, vivid depictions of Christ, the Virgin Mary, and the saints, adorn the walls, shimmering with gold and mystery. The Eucharist itself is distinct. In the Roman Rite, communicants typically receive an unleavened wafer, followed by a sip of wine. In the Byzantine Rite, the priest dips leavened bread into consecrated wine and places it directly into the communicant's mouth using a golden spoon. This practice, which dates back to the early Church, symbolizes the unity of Christ's body and blood in a single act of communion. Even more striking is the administration of the sacraments. In the Latin Church, baptism, confirmation, and First Communion are celebrated at different stages of life. However, in the Eastern Catholic churches, all 3 are conferred at once, even for infants. A newborn is baptized, anointed with holy chrism for confirmation, and given a small portion of the Eucharist in a single ceremony. This tradition reflects a deeply held belief. From the very first moment of life, a Christian should be filled with the Holy Spirit and united with Christ. This ancient and enduring practice reveals a profound theological distinction, a second mystery that sets these churches apart. Mystery 3. Married priests, a tradition rooted in the early church. Here is a question that often surprises many. Did you know that in several Eastern Catholic churches, priests can be married? Unlike the Roman Catholic Church, where priestly celibacy has been the norm since the Middle Ages, most Eastern Catholic churches permit married clergy, albeit with a condition. A man must marry before his ordination. Once he becomes a priest, he can no longer take a wife. Bishops, however, must remain celibate and are typically chosen from monastic communities. This practice is not a modern innovation, but a tradition that dates back to the earliest days of Christianity. In the New Testament, St. Peter himself is described as having a mother-in-law, suggesting that he was married. For centuries, the Eastern Church has viewed marriage and priesthood as compatible, allowing clergy to balance family life with pastoral responsibilities. When certain Orthodox communities reconciled with Rome, they brought this custom with them, and the Vatican recognized it as a legitimate expression of their ecclesial heritage. Consider the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, for example. In villages across Ukraine, it is not uncommon to find a parish priest who ministers to his community while also raising a family, a striking contrast to the celibate clergy of the Roman Rite. This does not mean that marriage is required or even preferred. Celibacy remains an honored vocation. However, the coexistence of both married and monastic clergy reflects a deep historical and theological reality. Offering a third mystery, a church that embraces both vocations within its sacred ministry. Mystery 4. The Virgin Mary and the Saints, icons as windows to heaven. Now let us explore how the Eastern Catholic churches honor the Virgin Mary and the saints. At first glance, their veneration may appear similar to that of Western Catholicism. Both traditions revere Mary and seek the intercession of the saints. However, the Eastern approach carries a mystical depth, shaped by Byzantine theology and a unique understanding of sacred imagery. In the East, Mary is most often referred to as Theotokos, meaning Mother of God, a title formally affirmed at the Council of Ephesus in 431. This designation is not merely an honorific, but a profound theological statement, emphasizing that Mary bore the divine Word made flesh. Her image is omnipresent in Eastern churches, particularly in icons such as Our Lady of the Sign, where she is depicted with outstretched arms and Christ within her womb, symbolizing her as the living temple of God. Icons play a central role in this mystery. Unlike the West, which often favors three-dimensional statues, the East embraces sacred iconography in the form of flat, stylized images painted with vivid colors and deep symbolism. Why this preference? In Byzantine thought, an icon is not merely religious art, but a window to the divine. When venerated, it serves as a conduit for spiritual communion, not an object of worship itself. This reverence extends to the saints, whose lives are commemorated through intricate hymns and numerous feast days that enrich the liturgical calendar with inspiring stories of faith and martyrdom. Step into a Melkite Greek Catholic church, and you will witness the faithful kissing icons, lighting candles before them, and praying in their presence. It is a tactile and visual spirituality, one that invites believers into a sacred encounter, a fourth mystery that unveils the depth of the Eastern Christian soul. Mystery 5. Tensions and hopes for unity with the Orthodox Church. Finally, let us reflect on the place of the Eastern Catholic churches within the broader Christian world, particularly their complex relationship with the Eastern Orthodox Church. Though united with Rome, their Eastern heritage creates a delicate balance, at times a source of richness, but also of tension. Historically, many Orthodox Christians have viewed the Eastern Catholic churches with suspicion, often referring to them as uniates, a term some consider pejorative. From the Orthodox perspective, these churches are sometimes seen as having compromised their heritage by aligning with the Pope, especially after centuries of separation following the Great Schism of 1054. This tension has been particularly pronounced in regions like Ukraine and Romania, where Eastern Catholic communities having endured persecution under both Orthodox and communist rule, have nonetheless re-emerged with resilience. Yet amid these historical strains, there remains hope for reconciliation. Since the Second Vatican Council, 1962 to 1965, the Catholic Church has taken significant steps to foster dialogue with the Orthodox, affirming the richness and validity of their traditions. Popes such as John Paul II and Francis have actively engaged with Orthodox leaders, seeking greater mutual understanding. Some Eastern Catholic churches, like the Maronites, have never been in formal schism with Rome, offering a model of unbroken communion. Others, such as the Italo-Albanian Catholic Church in southern Italy, maintain the Byzantine liturgical tradition within the Catholic fold, serving as a bridge between East and West. The dream of full reunion remains elusive, yet the Eastern Catholic churches stand as a living testament to what is possible. Their existence, neither fully Orthodox nor fully Roman, embodies a fifth mystery, a reminder of Christianity's divided history and its enduring hope for reconciliation. As we conclude this journey, the Eastern Catholic churches emerge not as mere historical footnotes, but as a vibrant tapestry of faith, interwoven with the splendor of Byzantium and the universality of Rome. From their origins in a divided church to their hauntingly beautiful liturgies, their married clergy, their icon-filled worship, and their unique role as bridge builders, these churches invite us to marvel at the depth and diversity within Catholicism. So the next time you hear of the Eastern Catholic churches, whether the Coptic Catholics of Egypt, the Syro-Malabar Catholics of India, or the Chaldean Catholics of Iraq, remember these five mysteries. They are not relics of the past, but a living testament to a faith that transcends cultures, centuries, and continents. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. May it inspire you to delve deeper into this hidden gem of the Christian world.